So today I'm down here at the Curls again, working with the colt. I'm working with this guy here. He's the bigger of the two colts. And today, he joined up real quick, and then I wanted to work on getting the halter on him, and he was really bad about me getting on his left side. He didn't want me coming on his left side. I don't think he wanted to see me out of his left eye for some reason. And the other day when I was messing with him, I'm pretty sure I pet him a bunch there on his left side, but that can happen sometimes. They gotta be a different horse one day from the next. But I kept on trying to work on getting over there on that left side so I could pet him on his neck and up around his head there, because you do everything from that side, put the halter on and everything. So I really needed to get over there, and he just wasn't having it. He wasn't being bad or anything. He would just constantly turn away from me. And I would every once in a while get over there and pet and rub on him and then give him a break from it, but he just still wasn't having it. So then I decided I'm just gonna go ahead and rope him. So I got him roped, and when you're roping horses on foot or anytime, the very first time they get a rope on them, they might really just bolt and take off. So you got to make sure you got your coils right. You're not holding on to the rope too tight and rope burn the hell out of yourself. But you also got to keep control of that slack so you don't get it wrapped between his legs or up under his tail or something. And it's kind of something you really got to pay attention on. And then the rope's coming off his neck, so then I used my slack to kind of block him so he couldn't turn away from me. He couldn't turn to the left, and I could get on that left side. And then I went to petting and rubbing on him, and he's fine. And then I worked on getting the halter on, and you just want to pet them all the way down their nose and their muzzle, and have the halter in your hand and rub it on them, and make sure you reach up over the back of their ears and underneath and everything, because you're going to be doing all that. And you don't want to be 8 or 10 inches away from a horse and reach over to grab that halter and flip it over and have him just spook right into you and smack you in the face or something. So you do all that, and then after I get the halter on them, the first thing that I do is I start working on them flexing their neck, and I think that's one of the most important things you can do. After that it's all over but the crying, but I'll kind of show you what I do and what I'm talking about. So I'm over here on his right side, and this doesn't have a very long lead rope, and you got to be careful that you don't bump him in the legs with it if you haven't sacked him out with it. But let's see if I can make this happen. I'm going to take the slack of this, and I'm going to kind of toss it up over his back here, but you got to be careful when you do that and kind of prepare him for it. And then I like to put my left hand here on his shoulder and pet and rub and get him ready for everything. And then I grab the lead rope, and then you're just going to start slowly. You want to start out with the amount of pressure that you someday want that horse to respond to. If I grab this and jerk on it or pull, 10 pounds of pressure, then forever, that's how much pressure it's going to take to pull him around. So I want to just grab it, and I start real easy, and as soon as he gives, like right there he gave, I take the pressure off, and that's good, and I pet and rub him and tell him how good he did. And then I'm going to do it again here. So start the pressure, and then I keep asking him to come a little further. He's braced up against it, and he hasn't quite given. He's just kind of moving his head. Right there's a good give. You'll be able to tell when they give versus just kind of moving their head towards you, that you want slack to suddenly come into your rope there. And you just keep working it around till you pretty damn near got their head touching right here. You don't have to get that far on the first day, but just right there he did good. And then go over and do it on the other side. And one of the reasons I think that's so important is because the horse learns that you're going to ask him to do something that he might not understand, but as soon as he gets it, the pressure's off, and that you're always going to start with the lightest amount of pressure. So he learns, if I can pick it up quick, then I don't ever get the heavier and heavier and more pressure. And that'll go with everything from getting him to move his front end around and his back end around, and asking him to move forward. All that stuff, you start out with the lightest pressure and then increase. So then he just learns that this guy's going to ask me to do something, and he's going to ask the nicest way possible first, and then apply pressure until I get it. And then once I get it, the pressure goes away and everything's all hunky-dory. So I'll do it here on his left side and see how he does on that. So when I had him roped, I would have, of course the rope was around his neck, and then I would use the slack like this to kind of block him so I could come over on this side, and he's pretty good about it now. I don't know what the deal was, but go ahead and pet and rub on him. And the next thing I'll start doing is work on him leading. Get this zoomed in, there we go. All right, so Get right here. I'm going to put my hand here on his shoulder, and once you do it on one side, they might pick it up a lot quicker on the other, but you can see my hands, 6 inches away from him, and slowly, see there, he did it pretty quick there, and that might be because he already knows what's coming, but you just never know with a horse. You got to do it on each side, and each side might be completely different, but there, that was pretty good. So I'm going to ask him to come a little bit further, so I'm going to step out of his way. You don't want to be in his way right here, or if I'm asking him to bring his head over here about a, almost a 90-degree angle, I don't want him to be worrying about bumping into me. So I'm going to step out of his way, and I didn't ask there, but I think he knows it's coming. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask. And that's pretty good. I can't really ask for any more. He bumped into me, but brought his head clear around. I haven't gotten him to really brace up on this side yet, but this is something. There we go. That's really good. Oops, he's kind of in my way here. I'm going to scooch by him. So that is something that you want to do every day when you're starting one of these colts, for I don't know how many rides or how many. Just do it every day till he's got it down. I mean, you might be doing it on day 30, just working on that, because that and a lot of other things that you're going to do here, or that I do, show them that I'm going to ask you to do something. Once you get it figured out, everything's great, grand, and terrific. And I'm never going to ask you mean, and I'll only apply more pressure till you get it. And another really important one that's coming up is getting him to move his front feet around and his back feet around in a certain way. Sometimes that takes them a little bit to get that, but then once they do, they always remember it, and it comes in so handy when you're riding. And then another really important one is to get him to lead by. That'll be the next thing I work on. I'll probably sack him out some with the lead rope and a flag and a rope, because kind of rambling on here, but there's a lot of important things that are happening now. Part of this getting him to flex is when I go to sack him out with this, if he takes off to run and he feels me pulling that way, if he runs by me and then I just pull on that lead rope, he's going to give me his head, and then he's going to face up to me, and his runaway will be ended instantly, because I've already got him learn to flex and to give to that pressure when I pull that way. So then it makes things like sacking him out, flagging him out with the lead rope and a rope and the flag all just a lot easier and go quicker. And it's part of him learning that I'm not going to hurt him. Something might get scary, but just if stuff gets scary and out of control and you might take off at a run, just always come back and just face up to me, and you'll learn that everything's great, grand, and terrific. So that's what's going on today. And I don't really know how to video doing a lot of this stuff. I could put a tripod out here, but it's just, not sure how great that would work. And I don't got an official cameraman yet, so I'll just kind of keep working on these things and then telling you how they go. So I don't know how much more I'm going to do with him today. It was kind of a lot to get this halter on him, in my opinion, but it wasn't too terrible bad. But like I said, I'm kind of rambling on here, so probably get him to flex each way one more time, and then we'll work on taking that halter off and make sure he doesn't have a bad experience with the halter coming off. But you can see he's pretty laid back and doing great. So thanks for watching. Sorry about the rambling on.